Do you guys ever find that it is the anticipation of something which is far more exciting than the actual completion of it? You're looking forward to something, and the most excitement and the most fun of the whole thing is actually the planning phase, is the gearing up to do it. Once it's done, it's kind of done. And that's why this year I made a resolution to travel much more and set dates in the calendar to break up the year. I'm just actually packing up the car now. I'm on my way to Khon, but I've planned trips throughout this entire year for nearly every province in rural Thailand, but also up to Chiang Mai, up to Pai, down to Koh Chang again, maybe down to Koh Lanta, Koh Samui, all of these islands. It's going to be a busy year, and I find that it's given me a lot of inspiration in that it's not actually getting to those places that is particularly interesting. I mean, I'm not vlogging them per se, I'm really vlogging people that I meet there. I think these places have all been vlogged to death over the years in Thailand. So it's not the exciting part of getting there, but it is the part of fulfilling your calendar and having something to look forward to in the future. Life is getting increasingly short, I'm finding. I'm sure that some of my subscribers agree. Most of my friends here in Thailand are over 55, many are over 60, some are over 70. So I have quite an older friend group, let's say. I always have had for the 16 years that I've lived here. And if there's something I've learned from people that are older than me, is that life is short and it does slip away really fast. And I think like every year you get older, the years pass like twice as fast. I don't know about you guys if you feel that way, but I find that as I'm approaching the 40, the big 40, it's like time is slipping, you know, and so you gotta use it. Life is short and it waits for nobody. And I recently actually sold my Mazda. I took it to the garage, got it all sorted for the guy that bought it. Cool guy, Canadian guy. I won't mention who he is, and I'm not showing him on the vlog. However, we were having a chat. He just moved to Thailand and he was sharing his story with me, and he'd met a lovely young lady. He was like early 60s and she was 38, I think. Been together now since COVID, 6 years, and he was buying the car for her actually. This is them driving off. And I'm sure he won't mind me saying, but we were having a chat at the table, and he said to me, you know, some people back in Canada, they think that the age gap is not appropriate. And well, first of all, I said to him, that's not an age gap in Thailand. In Thailand, there's far bigger age gaps than 38 and 60. And the second thing I said was, well, fuck 'em, because who really cares? Once you get to a certain age, we cannot live our lives worrying what people on YouTube think, or worrying what people back in Canada, in his case, think, worrying what old friends think or social circles think. You have to really live it on your terms, right? You've got to just do it how you want to do it and do the things you want to do in life without being apologetic for it, and just living the way you want to do it. I mean, it took me a while, and like I said, this is knowledge I've learned off older friends, but it took me a while to stop giving a shit what people think on YouTube. You know, should we be presenting this way or that way? And I realized it was boxing me into a psychological cage, which is hard enough when you live in rural Thailand and you're out of your own culture, you're living in somebody else's culture. You're already kind of boxed in to a certain way, and to be boxed in further by projections of what you think other people are thinking, when really you don't know what other people are thinking. You project what other people are thinking. I know probably more what other people are thinking because they leave it in my comments more than the average person. You guys don't get comments every day of what people think of you, and some of them are the nastiest comments you could possibly ever read about you, your kids, your wife and stuff. And it used to get to me in the early days, but actually it pile drived me so much that it made me break out a few years ago and just be like, bollocks to this. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. I'm going to live exactly how I want to live. I think that's what you've got to do, because life is short and you've got to use it. So after that little rant, I'm going to jump in the car right now, blast some Bob Dylan, hit the open road. I'm just waiting for the kids to get back. They're actually in Panam Rung, watching the F-16s come over. They've made a spectacle of it. Personally, I was just up there, so I didn't really want to go, but they have now. They've gone, and there's a market on, the stuff for the kids. I may have to drive past and say bye to them because I've got to set off soon, but they are up there watching the F-16s for Kids Day. So on that note, let's hit the open road. I guess you guys are coming with me to see what there is to see. I'm not sure where these vlogs are going to land, whether they end up on my diary channel or whether they end up on Naked Guru on the interview channel. I really don't know, but they'll be somewhere for you guys to come along on this road trip, and it's going to be a road trip of a whole year, to be honest, guys. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it, really am. That's genuinely excited to go on this mission. Looks like the kids are back. Where's the little one? Who with? Sister? How was Panam Rung then?
The kids love it. See F-16 fly.
Yeah.
F-16 show for the kids.
Yeah. I've just been telling them that I'm off now. I'm going to Khon, but I'm going to be doing a lot more travelling this year and seeing many places. Are you going to be coming too?
No, thank you.
She's a home bug. She's a home bug. So you want to go to Tokyo though? I want to go to Tokyo. Do you want to go to Tokyo?
Think first.
I'm not going alone. You got to come. Right then.
By Khon.
Khon now. Cha Thai 1 ครับ อ๋อเหรอ Cha Thai มันหมด That means Cha Thai is finished, guys.
อันนี้ชาไทยนมแล้วก็กาแฟ1 ช็อต
Okay. It's all pretty civilized, guys, along the road. Stops, coffee shops. It's a very easy drive, located just over 4 hours from me, and I have a couple of interviews lined up. What I'm doing with the interviews as well is, believe it or not, I'm really trying to find people that are just living normal lives, not always doing crazy things in Thailand or, you know, living extraordinary lives. I want to talk to some ordinary people, simply because most people that are thinking about coming to Thailand are not thinking about building giant off-grid complexes or even running businesses or even working. Many are just thinking about retiring, living a day-to-day life, maybe living a life on a budget, living a simple, basic existence. And so I want to make sure that the channel is also covering a number of stories that are just your run-of-the-mill retirees that have come to live out here. And to be honest, every life is interesting. Often when I get chatting with people, there's always a story there, you know what I mean? There's always, somebody's always done something in a lifetime. And so I no doubt some of the stories I'm going to be covering in this series of vlogs will be interesting in their own way, but they are just people living normal lives here in Thailand, and I want to feature a little bit more of that for this phase before I go to the tourist areas where I often meet people that are doing businesses or creative endeavors. For this stage of the channel at the start of the year, let's take a look at some normal day-to-day expat lives. So I always stay at the cheap and cheerful chai hut when I come to Khon, and you know, they have actually renovated this place quite well recently. They put in an elevator and a front reception desk. Since I've been coming here quite a long time, and it has improved quite a lot. Cheap as you like, 650 baht if you pay at the hotel. I ended up paying 7 something on booking.com. So if you are in Khon, don't bother with booking.com, they've always got a room. Chai baht, 650. You cannot argue with that. I might as well show you the room. Every time I come here, it's always 90%, well, like 98%, 99% Thai. Every time I see these red sofas, I think they'd be better without. You know, the room would just be better without it. But hot shower, basic toilet. This is it, 650. Not bad, is it? And now that they've updated the amenities a little bit, I think it's even more worth it. So I'm quite impressed with the improvements of Chai Pat here. And it just goes to show, in the rural areas, things are developing fast. It's not only the big cities, the Chiang Mai's, the tourist areas. In fact, some of the tourist areas look like they're going downhill, not uphill. Whereas a lot of these rural properties are being renovated and looking nice and still cheap. They've kept the price cheap, that's what I like to see. I don't like to see a big renovation and then they're pumping the price up. They've got to keep it cheap here anyway, guys, because mainly it's Thais that visit. But on that note, driving through here, as you can see, there are so many nice vehicles. Now, a lot of it is, of course, credit. There's a lot of credit. and I'm currently researching a video that's going to be discussing that as well. I'm going to be using this family channel as my diary channel for these trips, interviews on the other channel, and then a little bit more from my research and talking to a few people about credit and the credit problem, the debt problem in Thailand. I'm currently working on that. Honestly, every time I come, there's always a new place opened up, or maybe it's that I was moving so fast last time I came that I didn't realize. It's definitely true, when I come on these trips, I don't always have a lot of time in these places. And now Kaen has become one that I've visited many times, so I'm starting to know it better. I'm giving myself more time on these trips as well. What I am noticed in my old age, I'm joking, like as I get older, is you can really absorb a place better. I was talking with some backpackers up in Chiang Mai last time I was visiting. I stayed in a hostel purposely just to chat with other travellers, and they said to me, oh, I love Thailand, but all I ever seem to do is get drunk. And isn't it just the case in many ways for backpackers? I mean, even when I was backpacking, it was the same. Nothing's changed. It's just one big party, and so it all becomes a blur. Maybe you've travelled, maybe you've not. Maybe you've seen something along the way, maybe you haven't. Maybe you actually saw a bit of the location, maybe you didn't. Very nice. Seems to be a lot of milk bars in Khon, guys. Like, this is where Thais that don't want to get drunk, they don't want a coffee, they go to a milk bar these days. So you've got milk and milk frap and various different, you got fresh orange juice, various different times. The Thai kids will go on dates here and stuff. And so it is the case when you're backpacking, you don't get to see a place fully. You end up in a bit of a blur. As you get older and you're not like going to the clubs every night, and you're not going on the drinking, because I mean all the hostels just revolve around drinking, like we're going on this bar crawl or that bar crawl. So when you're kind of out of that, you can absorb a place a little bit more, and you see more of the daytime of the place, you see more of the lives of the people that actually live in the place. Some travel can end up being like nighttime based because you're awake all night and sleeping through the day. As you get older and you have a bit more time in a place, you can really absorb it a little bit more and at your own slower pace. Another reason Khon is quite built up, there's a lot of students here. There's a university here, of course, and it's a student city. I've got a lot of expat friends whose children come to Khon University. Out of all the provinces, it's a particularly good university to come to here. And then they graduate, and then they'll often head off to Bangkok or the city. Last time I came here, I noticed that in the mall there is a lot of clubs for kids. Taekwondo, and there was a maths centre, there was a music centre where the kids could go in and learn music. And I felt a pang of disappointment that I don't have that for my kids. I have a piano teacher that I can call out for Otis, which I've done for quite a while now, and we don't have taekwondo clubs or anything like that. We would have to come to a place like this and to a big mall in order to get that kind of thing, and I really wish the kids had that, to be honest. So if your kids are growing up in Khon, there's a lot of extra curricular activities outside of just the school. You have all these clubs within the mall, and there's just a lot going on. It's just even more than Central Buradam. There's a lot more going on. We've got another bar here, Brooklyn. The reason I'm showing you this as well is because there is an idea online that rural Thailand is really backward, and it's there's nothing there. There's nothing at all to do. But you see how many of these fancy bars are popping up. Like this is Brooklyn bar here. You've got your bartenders. Your bartenders over there. Smells great here, I gotta say. It looks like they've got some live music on here tonight as well. Handicap. There's these high-end locations popping up, and it's bars, it's cafes. Now, are they fun for your normal expat? I'm sure many expats would find them very fun. For me in particular, I'm not so into the Thai music. If I can find one that has Western music, then I enjoy it a lot more, like massive amounts more. But generally, if it's just Thai music, I tend to give it a pass. Just not for me, but obviously it's for Thais and for students, and that's who's in Khon, and that's who loves it. You can see that the sunset is incoming now, and I'm going to be going over to the mall for a shop around. There's also a cinema here, which has movies in English as well. And so this for now is the beginning of my little Khon trip. As I said, I'm going to be talking to a few expats that live here. I have some interviews lined up, and I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a heavy schedule actually, so I'm looking forward to it. After this, my next stop is going north up to Chiang Mai and then to Pai. So thanks for checking in today, guys. Appreciate it. Hope you're all well, and glad you got to see a little bit of Khon Kaen.